What was your favorite moment, and how was it to film that?
Um, it's funny. I think my favorite moment was shooting all the stuff in the bars, because we couldn't find the right location, so we decided to build it.
Okay.
And so each bar it's the same it's the same location. So we shot one, and then we had to like flip it over in 3 days. But all of that stuff was so much fun because there was just so many talented actors, and I think shooting like that allowed us to do some great stuff because we only shot for about 9 days inside there. So we had to shoot so super quick. But yeah, Justin Rue, the production designer, made life easy because whatever you pointed the camera, it looked good. So that was probably the best stuff was shooting in there.
Mm-hmm. So was that the hardest part of shooting, like swapping the bars and stuff?
Um, Probably the hardest part of shooting was the fact that we got the financing together just before the winter was ending here in Canada. So we like got the financing and had to go out immediately and shoot all the exterior stuff because all of the bar stuff was shot in like a hot summer. So it's like everybody had their jackets on and they'd rip them off after every take. But yeah, it was rushing to get all the exterior stuff done because I think we shot all that stuff in about 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm. And so, how did the cast of this movie come together? Because like they're all amazing. It's a very small cast, but they're amazing.
Um, Interestingly enough, so Ari Millen, who plays Michael in the film, he, as I was saying before, he brought the script. He brought the script to me, and it was still a play at that point. And when we started adapting it, he had some people in mind. And the first time I read it, I had some people in mind, just some Canadian actors that we've either worked with before or that I wanted to work with. But the most amazing thing about this film, which again, this never happens, is all of our first choices love the material and were available to do it. So that was amazing. It took a little longer to figure out schedules with RJ Mitty and getting him in to play Steve, but yeah, again, he was first choice, and there was some scheduling conflicts and stuff, and we were going to look at other people, but I wanted to work with him. I thought he would be perfect for it, so we made it work. So yeah, everybody was first choice, and everybody wanted to do it, which is amazing because that usually never happens.
Yeah. So did they have to do like a screen test before, or was it the first time you saw them on set?
Yeah, no, so we obviously we made the offer for the role, and I think I met everybody once or twice for a coffee or a beer, and just sort of talked about the funny thing is we didn't really talk about the script itself. We talked about a lot of the backstory because there's so much sort of nuances to each character and how they know each other and what they've been through that's not in the movie. So I spent most of the time just talking about what's outside of what you see with everybody, so that when we got there on the day, they would sort of know the character better. But yeah, it was funny. We never did any rehearsals for anything. We just talked and funny enough, just told stories.
And did they give some input as well in the characters? Like, did it maybe change some stuff that you didn't think about at first, or?
Like definitely. Like I think everybody brought something to the table. Again, it's like it was a very collaborative set. So I mean, I was very open to everybody's ideas. I had a pretty sort of long backstory for everybody. So I think it was more about me giving them the backstory and then them really just taking that and running with their character. And I think, yeah, everybody had brought a lot to the table, and we changed. Even on the day, we were both so sure of who the character was, but even on the day you start saying a line and you're like, that doesn't fit with who Paul is or Steve is. So we're constantly changing little bits of dialogue and redoing things as we went, as it goes.
Mhm. Isn't it like harder than to keep track of what someone has said or what needs to come after that?
Sometimes, but the interesting thing about this movie, and I've never shot a movie this way, but because it felt like I wanted it to still feel like these long pieces of dialogue, so we would
Mhm.
shoot 15 pages in a row. So
Okay.
all of the actors had memorized. I wanted everybody to have it memorized, but able to go off book and stuff. So it was amazing because because the shots were so long, if somebody went off book, so did the other person. So you'd have this long take, and it wasn't like, you shot somebody and they did something different, and then when you go and you're like, okay, now you have to react to that thing. We were shooting two cameras and letting them go. So it was amazing. So anytime that there was like an ad lib or something came out of the blue, like a great idea that we loved, it was there and we had it already and we captured it. So that was cool. That made it easier to let everybody sort of do their thing.
Mhm. Okay. And so you already had experience as a director before making this movie. Do you still remember the first movie you shot and how did that feel for you?
Yeah, yeah. The first movie that I directed was Antisocial. I did a few sort of lower budget horror films before The Oak Room, and then I did a movie called Vicious Fun after that. But yeah, the first movie is always like, I don't know. It's like the first time of everything. It's like the first
Mhm.
kiss, the first thing. So it has such a sentimental value to it. Um, I don't think the movie now is very good. I think I was still learning a lot, and of course the budget was, we had like no money. I think everybody worked pro bono on it, but just that feeling of actually seeing something you've written come alive is, like, I'll never forget that experience, and it'll be hard to ever top the that feeling of how new it was and exciting it was again, but maybe one day.
Mhm. Does it become better or easier the more films you make?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like you get more confident with certain aspects. Like anything, the more you do it, the better you
Mhm.
get. Um, but again, it's so funny. It's like every movie I go into, I have the confidence from the last movie, but every movie is its own beast. So you instantly learn learn things you've never done before, or get into situations in trouble where you've never been before. And also too, is there's so many times where I was so certain of a way to capture something, and Jeff Mahar, who's the DOP, would just suggest something, and it was like, oh, why didn't I come up with that? So like you're constantly learning, but I think that's the fun. It's like every movie is like going back to film school.
Mhm. Okay. And so The Oak Room is again a dark, like horror movie, which isn't your first. But so where did the passion and love for like darker films come from?
Um, I feel well, like I grew up watching a lot of horror movies and thrillers, and I mean, I would say more dramas and thrillers than horror films. Horror films that kind of fell into doing, and obviously fell in love with what you can do with movies like that. But I don't know, horror just has this great ability, so you can take sort of a normal dramatic story and sort of push it so far with characters
Mhm.
and story, because as soon as it sort of fits into a horror movie, you're sort of allowed to do more things with it. But I don't know. I get that question a lot of like, why are your movies so dark? And I'm a pretty happy guy normally. So I don't know. Maybe there's it's some sort of dark side of me that I need to get out or something. But I'm just attracted to um, intense situations, I guess. So thrillers and stuff and horror movies allow me to sort of access that part of me, I guess.
Mhm. Do you have any favorite thrillers or horror movies?
Um, I mean, I feel like you could ask me that now, and a week from now, I'd have a
Okay.
different answer. It's so hard to sort of say like one thriller or horror. Like, so, I was obsessed for a long time with like David Fincher's Seven, and maybe like 5 years ago, for like a full year, I was I couldn't believe how brilliant Antichrist was, Lars von Trier's film, horror film. But more recently, it's funny. More recently, I've been writing a lot of horror movies, but I've been watching a lot of dramas. So it's weird. It's a weird mashup, but yeah, constantly changing.
Okay. So yeah, you said that you're already writing some new films. So do you have like other projects we can expect soon?
Yeah, I have. So when I was when I was directing, was it Oak Room? No, so after Oak Room, I did a movie called Vicious Fun, which was like a horror comedy. Again, just something completely different, which was interesting to have in 1 year doing this sort of thriller horror and then horror comedy. But when I was doing that, I was the company that came in on Vicious Fun, particular crowd, who are amazing. I had pitched them an idea that we had for a TV show, and they sort of like, we couldn't figure out how to make the TV show work, and I'd been pitching it for a while, and I think between them and us, they suggested, well, why not rethink it as a film, and so I was working on that treatment while I was shooting Vicious Fun, and we pitched it this year and started writing a draft, and recently we got it greenlit. So I think that movie, finance pending, might shoot at the end of this year. I can't talk about it yet.
Okay.
But hopefully that'll be, a press release will come out hopefully in the next few months, and hopefully we go to camera end of this year, and that one's pretty wild. So okay. I'm excited for that one.
So you can probably tell like who's in it already.
No, I can't. Well, I can sort of hint that I think Ari Millen, again, who plays Michael in the Oak Room, I think he'll play a pretty significant part in it. Other than that, though, we're still in talks.
Okay. Well, looking forward to that movie already. Thank you so much for this interview, and good luck with the rest.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm cleaning up the place. Guess who walks through the fucking door? Little Stevie shithead. Out of the blue, he comes in here acting like a big shot. You think you're pretty smart, don't you, college boy? You think you're gonna actually talk your way out of this one?
One way or another, you're gonna pay up tonight.
I've got something better than cash. I've got a story.
I just walked 2 miles through a blizzard.
I can tell you about the cold. Do you know bartenders love to talk?
Wrong. Bartenders listen. It's the alcoholics that never shut the fuck up.
Fact is, I've been feeling very strange lately. I'm sensing a story coming on here, Gordy.
Shit, I haven't even talked to him for 2 years. I used to see it. He used to always be hanging with the wrong guys. And now I'm really worried that he's got himself involved in some really ugly shit.
Listen up. It's my turn to tell a fucking story.
Well, all this is going down. The killer is under the impression that the bar is empty. A storm like this, everything just slows down.
Well, he could be wrong. You could be wrong. Nobody's got a perfect fucking memory, right?
We all go over there. And when you got there, you remember this.
I used to sit on top of the highest buildings in Chromium and look down like a god.
You still got them superpowers? The power to drink a fifth of whiskey and not pay for it.
Dad was a storyteller.
See? It's in our blood.
I used to punch holes through space-time.
Hey! Oh, you're the dude who says he's from another planet. You got superpowers, right? Come on, I just want to hear your story.
My city was named Chromium.
So that's where you're from?
They had to invent things to hurt me. Intelligent asteroids, killer robots.
Super villains?
Say super one more time.
Oh, okay.
Even the whiskey's weaker here.
Space whiskey. All right, look, do you have any superpowers at all? Or...
The source of my power doesn't exist here.
Why you gotta fill the kid's head with bullshit?
I've always been good to you, right? To you and your family.
You're risking our lives to hang out with some homeless man?
Max didn't have to do any of this to help us.
They will find you and they will kill you.
So what are we supposed to do?
You fight the war.
Fuck. Get Max Fist.
We're gonna play a game! Where's my brother?
You look insane.